In a distant corner of the galaxy, a war unlike any other consumed countless star systems in its relentless fury. The Thorgian Empire, a race of towering reptilian warriors bred for battle, had swept across the cosmos like a tidal wave, their advanced technology and overwhelming numbers crushing all who dared to stand in their way. Entire civilizations had fallen before their might, their worlds reduced to smoldering ruins and their people enslaved or exterminated. But there was one race that refused to bow before the Thorgian onslaught: the humans. When the Thorgians set their sights on the human colonies, they expected an easy victory, another conquest to add to their ever-expanding empire. They were wrong. The humans, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, refused to surrender. They would fight to their last breath, and they would do so on their own terms. They had faced adversity before, had risen from the ashes of their own world to reach for the stars, and they would not be cowed by the Thorgian threat. Leading the human resistance was General Thaddeus Rigel, a battle-hardened veteran with a mind as sharp as a laser and a will as unyielding as steel. He had seen the horrors of war, had watched friends and comrades fall in the line of duty, but he had never lost his resolve. He knew that conventional warfare would only lead to swift defeat against the Thorgians, so he gathered his most brilliant officers, Major Orion Vega and Captain Sirius Antares, to devise a plan that would turn the tide of the war. "We cannot match the Thorgians in firepower or numbers," General Rigel said, his voice filled with grim determination. "But we have something they lack: creativity, adaptability, and the will to fight for our survival. We will hit them where they least expect it, using every resource at our disposal. We will make them pay for every inch of ground they take and for every life they snuff out. We will show them the true meaning of human resilience." And so the humans embarked on a campaign of guerrilla warfare, striking swiftly and disappearing into the shadows before the Thorgians could retaliate. They hit supply lines, disrupted communications, and sowed chaos within the enemy ranks. They used the very terrain of the planets they fought on to their advantage, luring the Thorgians into dense forests, treacherous canyons, and sprawling urban labyrinths where their superior numbers counted for nothing. Lieutenant Altair Deneb, a fearless soldier with a talent for improvisation, led a daring raid on a Thorgian supply depot. Armed with nothing but modified mining drills and construction exoskeletons, his team tore through the heavily fortified walls and destroyed the depot's stockpiles of weapons and fuel. The Thorgians were left reeling, unable to comprehend how such primitive equipment could cause such devastation. But the humans weren't just relying on brute force and daring raids. They were also waging a war of the mind, using every psychological trick in the book to demoralize and disorient their enemy. They hacked into the Thorgian communication networks, broadcasting unsettling messages and images that exploited the reptilians' deepest fears and superstitions. They infiltrated the Thorgians' own propaganda machine, subverting their messages of conquest and planting seeds of doubt within their ranks. Meanwhile, Captain Antares and his team of brilliant engineers worked tirelessly to repurpose civilian technology for military use. They modified agricultural drones to disperse highly corrosive chemicals on Thorgian armor, rendering it useless. They reprogrammed construction robots to serve as mobile shield generators, providing cover for human soldiers on the battlefield. They even hacked into the Thorgians' own weapons systems, turning their own firepower against them in a stunning display of ingenuity and audacity. The Thorgians, for all their advanced technology and rigid military hierarchy, were ill-equipped to deal with the humans' unconventional tactics. They were warriors, bred for battle, but they had never faced an enemy like the humans before. The humans fought dirty, they fought smart, and they fought with a ferocity that the Thorgians had never encountered in their conquest of the galaxy. As the war raged on, the humans' tactics began to take their toll on the Thorgians. The once confident empire found itself on the defensive, struggling to anticipate the humans' next move. Their supply lines were in shambles, their communications disrupted, and their morale at an all-time low. The Thorgian soldiers, once fanatically loyal to their cause, began to question the wisdom of their leaders and the purpose of the war. It was in this moment of vulnerability that General Rigel unleashed his most audacious plan yet. On the planet Helios, he set a trap that would forever be remembered as a turning point in the war. Using a combination of holographic decoys, electromagnetic pulse weapons, and a network of tunnels dug by repurposed mining equipment, the humans lured the Thorgians into a kill zone of their own making. The Thorgians, believing they had the human forces cornered, charged forward with all their might. But as they entered the trap, the ground beneath them erupted in a series of explosions, triggered by hidden mines and remotely detonated charges. The electromagnetic pulse weapons concealed in the tunnel network disabled the Thorgians' advanced technology, rendering their weapons and vehicles useless. In the ensuing chaos, the human soldiers, equipped with modified construction exoskeletons and wielding improvised weapons, surged forward. They engaged the disoriented Thorgians in close-quarters combat, their agility and ferocity more than a match for the reptilians' size and strength. The battle was fierce, the casualties high, but the humans refused to yield. As the smoke cleared and the dust settled, the true extent of the humans' victory became apparent. The Thorgian forces on Helios had been utterly decimated, their once mighty war machine reduced to a smoldering ruin. But more than that, the battle had sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy, inspiring other oppressed species to rise up against their Thorgian overlords. Across the stars, reports of similar uprisings began to pour in. The Aquarans, a race of aquatic warriors, had taken up arms against the Thorgians, using the same hit-and-run tactics that had proven so effective for the humans. The Cylons, a species of telepathic beings, had turned their mental powers against their oppressors, sowing confusion and discord within the Thorgian ranks. Even the Florans, a race of sentient plants, had joined the fight, using their mastery over nature to create impenetrable defenses and deadly traps. The Thorgians, their once mighty empire crumbling from within, were forced to sue for peace. In the negotiations that followed, General Rigel, Major Vega, and Captain Antares represented humanity, their unwavering determination and strategic brilliance earning them the respect of even their former enemies. The terms of the peace were harsh, but fair, designed to ensure that the Thorgians would never again threaten the freedom of the galaxy. As the war came to an end and the human colonies began to rebuild, the legend of their scrappy, unconventional methods spread throughout the stars. The human spirit, unbroken and unyielding in the face of overwhelming odds, had triumphed against the Thorgian Empire, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the years that followed, the humans became known as the guardians of the oppressed, their expertise in guerrilla warfare and their ability to adapt and innovate sought after by those who still struggled against tyranny. General Rigel, Major Vega, and Captain Antares, now hailed as heroes, continued to lead the charge, training new generations of soldiers and strategists to carry on the fight for freedom. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson: never underestimate the power of human ingenuity and the indomitable will to survive. For in the face of annihilation, the humans had proven that even the most formidable foe could be brought to its knees by those who dared to fight on their own terms. And so, as the stars continued to burn bright in the vast expanse of space, the humans stood tall, a beacon of hope for all who yearned for freedom. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, their spirit unbroken, their resolve unshakable. They were the Galactic Guardians, and they would never back down from a fight. For they were human, and they would always find a way to overcome the odds, no matter how stacked against them they might be. They would fight, they would adapt, and they would win, for that was the human way. And as long as there were those who threatened the peace and freedom of the galaxy, the humans would be there ready to stand against them, ready to fight for what was right, no matter the cost. This was their legacy, their promise to the stars. They were humanity, and they would never be broken.